Ladies and gentlemen, the politics of climate change is as old as the initial works of World Meteorological Association and the works of the United Nations and the work of Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change and even the formation of the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change. And we all know that climate change impacts have been very dire, particularly as regards the socioeconomic and biophysical environment. And climate change politics is connected with climate change economics because it deals with resource allocation. And so then people are normally not debating the fact that climate change is a real issue now. So what remains to be answered particularly is, why is climate change a political issue? And we know that the scientific revelation has been here with us that climate change is real, and so this issue has taken center stage and it has become a public international issue. And if you look around, you will see a very great percentage of debates that we have at global level, at regional level, at national levels, revolve around climate change. And if you look at even the involvement of World Meteorological Organization, the IPCC we are talking about, and the UNFCCC, and even the initial involvement of the United States and under the former President Al Gore, a lot of consciousness of the public were raised around the issues of climate change and also suspicions that come with such kind of debates. And it has been very global. And we also know that there's a lot of literature from science and from media around issues of climate change. And we all know at the moment that we can't say that we have a unifying climate change politics because the globe has been divided as regards what people believe and what people don't believe. You can imagine that there are part of the globe where people focus on technology for adaptation and mitigations. There are other parts where people are concentrating much more on solar and nuclear fusion, where we are also really concentrating on clean energy and even a mixture of those mitigation and adaptations. And we are also talking about international agreements and all strategies around the greenhouse gas emissions. So politics that we are having of climate change has actually driven us, has partitioned us into all those areas, depending on what we believe climate change is. And climate change politics revolve around issues like potential impact of climate change and even the impacts themselves. So there are people who still believe that climate change impacts are not as dire as people think. And so politics around development come in. Do we put all our resources, do we put all our energy in addressing climate change, particularly at the expense of development agenda that we are having? Then we also have politics surrounding the economics of the responses that are being proposed. So look at climate change responses in terms of adaptation, in terms of mitigation, and the cost implications. So many states and even the regions and even the global community are sensitive about the cost implication of addressing climate change, and so politics come in this. The other area where climate change politics revolve is the area of national growth and development. There's been a debate around, do we put resources on mitigating or adapting to climate change, or do we go on with our development agenda and priorities? We should not forget that nations are about development and about priorities that they have set for their people. And if we are to prioritize climate change adaptation or mitigation ahead of some sort of development, economic development, then the politics originate from there. There is also politics around mainstreaming technology in climate change responses. Look at the politics around the green energy or adopting clean energy at the expense, particularly of some energy that will produce huge amount of power to drive economy. Many nations are thinking about, if we were to go, for example, green, and we are not as developed as other countries, there is something that we will lose at the end. And so politics come around there.